Yo, what is up, guys? What is poppin'? As you see, I did this 100 subscribers question and answer, and like I didn't get too many comments, like 13 or 40, but I didn't want it to be like an hour-long video, so that's fine with me. And we will hop into it today because I'm in the mood to talk some weird shit and get this thing done here. So yeah, we see what the people try to ask me, and like we'll have a look at it. I accidentally um, like deleted the comment and I can't like put it back on there. I don't know why, but it's actually like a comment that my boy Nyandru left, and I will start with that because you know before I forget that. Like shows up into my notifications on the right side here, as you can't see right now. But yeah, I said, congrats on 100, mate. Thank you, boy. And said, are you gonna be playing VGC this year or this season? I don't really know. I like think it's a better circuit or like a better format than it was in 17 and 16 for sure, because I get like some of my old favorites back in like Aggie Slash, obviously the land the land or Thunder 4. Megas are back, which I really like. I'm a big fan of Megas. I always like to implement them in my strats. So I might give it a shot, but I don't think I would like travel too far for like internets or so. Maybe I like play if there's a tourney or regional near my city. Just trying to see if I like still have it, if I still can build for VGC. But I haven't like played VGC seriously for like almost 2 years. I went to like German Nets in 2016, but after that I like played like one or two tourneys, like one regional and like one MSS or something. But yeah, we'll see. If I find the time, and if I'm not like too burned out from league format, I definitely will give it a shot. Maybe play some on the shorter ladder or battle spot, but I don't think I will take it seriously at all. So we'll see. Try to build some heat maybe. And the second question was, what, if any, changes do you see happening to draft league tiers with the new move tutor moves? Yeah, it's definitely like interesting with all these new defoggers of the new knockoff users. I think Toxapex, for example, will be way better with knockoff. Like just gives it a chance to cripple potential breakers on the switch and knocking off their life orb or their e-belt or something, which someone actually needs to 2 KO Toxapex. Just like a very solid support move on a mon like this in general. And obviously like defog is gonna be huge. I think Rotom Wash will rise in popularity, Rotom Mao as well. Or Mo, I don't know. But I don't think like stuff like Lando or Thunderous or even Tornadus will like use defog as often. Same with Klefki, because those guys like either can't like really afford running defog on their sets. On Thunderous case, for example, are weak to rocks, which is unfortunate. I feel like Lando won't run defog at all because like defog Lando with the Z Crystal as an abuser is like absolutely wide, and you much rather run offensive or like defensive with stealth rock, obviously. But then again, you don't want to defog away your rocks as your own rocks, so I don't think that will see too much usage. Tornadus T like looks clean because it can regen the rocks damage back and is like immune to spikes, obviously. But I don't know if you can afford it, because like the best sets that I felt like were on Tornadus were Life Orb or Assault Vest, and like those sets usually like Assault Vest obviously not at all, but Life Orb usually can't afford to run like a support move besides maybe Taunt, to function as a stall breaker, for example. But yeah, definitely has some merit on some sets. But I don't really see the higher tier mons using defog as often. Same with Klefki in tier 2, obviously, like which is usually tier 2 in the drafts that I am. It likes to stack hazards on your opponent, like the spike you don't want to defog them away. Yes, you can use it as an like emergency defogger, but that's basically it. Unless you like really need it, you wouldn't run it on Klefki. Hydreigon actually looks cool because defensive Hydreigon actually has some merit. You could get away with running like a Dark Pulse, Roost, Taunt, and Defog set to like really shut down like Stallia sets, and like Dark typing usually hits most of the stuff that Hydreigon wants to hit. Obviously Fairy's Wallet, but Fairy's Wall Hydreigon in general anyway, unless you run like Flash Cannon or so. but I see this thing having some merit with it, obviously. Another one I really like now with the addition of new figures is Delmice, because like synthesis is really cool on there. It now can function more of as a like dedicated wall, now that it can like recover up. You aren't relying on wish support, obviously. You aren't like forced to run rapid spin with all these new defoggers, so you can like run a more defensive set with synthesis, toxic, anchor shots, and power whip, for example. Really like use the bulk that Delmice offers to your advantage. So I think that's like the most important stuff that comes to my head right now. Obviously, like, summons get Drain Punch and Knockoff. I think like Incineroar looks really cool with Step Knockoff. If it gets Intimidated, it's actually gonna be a very, very solid defensive mon. I feel like, because it has terrific bulk and can like be really annoying with Will-O-Wisp, Knockoff, Drain Punch, U-Turn, Flare Blitz, obviously like all these attack moves. Definitely looks like a really solid mon. I think Beware will enjoy Drain Punch a lot. Same with Buzzwole, but I don't think they will run the meta or anything. So let's hop into the questions that I have here. First by my boy Aaron 2420. Can't really see the replies because like my thing is dumb, and I don't want to like mess with the dimension because I always use them to record my showdown replays. Yada yada yada. But he asks first. First he says good replay because I had this replay from my game versus Trevi, obviously in the League War with my boy Skills for Mew, obviously, which is hype, but yeah, definitely a good replay. But he asked first, what do you think these new defoggers will do to format? I think I mentioned. I think what they force in general is that hazard stacking won't be as viable of a strat anymore, because like obviously it seems that you can always afford to bring a defogger if you draft correctly, but I don't think they will change as much as people think. I still think that if you play correctly versus new defoggers, you can still prevent them from defogging, unless it's like obviously a mon that forces so many other mons out, like for example Hydreigon or Landorus, but both of them don't like to run defog most of the time. So gotta see how like that works. But I still think like hazard stacking will be viable, just not as big of a deal as it was in earlier gens, obviously. Secondly, I asked, what's your favorite weather to run? I actually never used another weather besides sand, but I think like sand is kind of overrated right now. Tita is a great mon, and Excadrill is obviously too, but I feel like it's easier to stop than it was like earlier in Gen 6 or so, when people like were just starting to play the league format and didn't really know how to counter team. I think like now the standard sand core isn't as viable anymore. I actually don't think any weather is like that great, because if you go for a hard rain team or a hard sand team, it usually doesn't work out. What I like is adding a rain element, for example, to your squad, so that you like have something your opponent has to prep for, but that you're not reliant on it. Obviously Aurora Veil is cool too on Ninetales, but you obviously can't run Hail as a as a way of speed control, because all the Hail sweepers are trash. So it's like really tough to like really win with a hardcore sand team. Obviously, what my boy Matty Brawlick loves, and what I really think is cool, is the Tita Stoutland core to like add to your team, because like Tita can support a lot of teams with or without sand. Obviously, can function as a wall breaker with the band set, can function as a defensive mon, obviously with its special bulk that it offers, and like just as a reliable rocker, pursuit trapper, etc. It offers like a bunch of stuff that every team appreciates on it, and like Stoutland is a mon that you can get for cheap most of the time, and that is another terrific wall breaker or late game sweeper with a life over bandit set that is really hard to switch into, because I think like normal spam is actually a very viable offensive strategy, because not a lot of normal types are like normal resistances are usually on a squad. Like obviously you got steel types, but nobody runs rock types, for example, and if you like play correctly around steel types, you can like just get Stoutland to sweep. So that's kind of cool. I think Maddie used it like very successfully a lot of the time, so that's really cool. But I think my favorite weather to run, which I would feel most comfortable with, would be rain probably, but not like hardcore rain. Maybe like just one rain sweeper or two and a setter, and then like mons that appreciate rain but don't lose if you don't bring rain. So maybe stuff like Gudra on the squad, for example, or Ferrothorn or Mega Scissor, monsters that you like don't have to rely on rain with, but that like don't mind if rain is up. Obviously, like you can't draft Victini with rain, for example, because you don't want to get rid of EV creates and stuff like that. But if you like have a team that can function without you bringing your rain setter, it becomes much harder to prep for it, because you have to basically prep for two teams, for example, the rain hyper offense, or like even like some bulky rain teams, obviously with like Ferrothorn, Gudra and shit like that are really hard to break. But you also have to prep for the other sets that the other mons on the team can run. So yeah, I don't know if you get this, but that's definitely like something that I definitely want to try out in the future. Third question that he asked was favorite lower tier draft pick, let's say between 3 and 5, or at least what should be in those tiers. I like a lot of the mons in tier 4 and 5. I haven't used all of them, obviously, but everyone who knows me knows that I love a Selgar in the format. I love Frostless too. Like just the speedy spikers in the lower tiers are usually pretty nice. I use Stunfist very well, and it always seems to put in work for whoever uses it, which is super hype. Alone Persian looks clean. Cofagrius is a super interesting mon in tier 4, which it usually chills in. And like I probably forget some, but you can always get like a very solid mon in lower tiers. In tier 5, like even Stoutland, as I said earlier, is a very solid mon. Ditto obviously can always be a nice addition to the team to like make prep harder for your opponent. Sigilyph I felt is an underrated mon. In tier 3 obviously we got these fat grass types as Delmise, Decidueye, Tangrowth, Amoonguss, all of which can put in quite some work. Cobalion in tier 3 is very nice to have. And like, I think a lot of these mons that are chilling in these tiers have some merit in the form. You can always make them work. I think Lurantis is pretty cool. It can like, I think it's underrated because, you know, Big Brother Superior is there as a temporary mon, but if it can snake a tier 4, tier 5 Lurantis, I'm definitely sure that it will put in work just by its like bulk and by its easy way of defogging. It checks a lot of stuff like ground types that can easily defog, and it's a very reliable defogger, I feel like, and a very underrated offensive threat too with the contrary Leaf Storm. I've seen Superpower now, like you could run a physical set with Superpower, which makes it even more bulky. Leaf Blade Knockoff, for example, with Synthesis. You can like just run the standard defogger, you can run Toxic, Stolly sets, and it's pretty cool. So definitely a fan of Lurantis. Okay, let's now heading into the next question. Sibamabo Omega Jolteon, a new member of the NPL, actually pretty hyped to play him at some point. I think he won our Division 2 last season, so he got relegated to. It doesn't mean relegated, but he is like now in our Division 1, which is cool. So he has top 5 favorite mons to use in draft, and that's a really tough question, obviously. I think one of my absolute faves is Mega Venusaur. Whenever I use it, I feel I do well. I use it twice, basically. Once in ITL Season 2 and once in ITL Season 6 now. Both of the times I went 11-2 in the regular season. In Season 2 I won the league with it, and in Season 3 we will see. Season 6, obviously. We will see. I obviously played Gypsy, but it might put in some work there. So definitely one of my favorites. Mamoswine is way up there. Same with Weavile. I love my offensive ice types. Weavile is like great. It's pursuit trap and just impossible to switch in typing. Basically, Mamoswine, same thing. It's a fantastic wall breaker. Can't really switch into this thing if used correctly. And with if used correctly, I mean Adam and Life Orb only set. Shout out to its Gator. But yeah, it's definitely its best set. So yeah, this is up there. I love Zard X. Very, very cool mon. I love Hydreigon. I love Reuniclus. I think it's tough to put a top 5. If I had to, I would probably say Venu, Zard X, Mamoswine, Weavile, and maybe Mew. Mew is very good. Had a lot of fun with it. It always put in work for me. Usually was team MVP when I had it. So yeah, that's cool. But really tough to get a top 5 favorite mons, because like the top 5 they usually change You can't like draft a new squad and fall in love with a mon and say, yeah, oh, this is my favorite mon of all time, because we like to exaggerate stuff. But if I had to say it would be Venu, Zard, Weaver, Mamo, and probably Mew. So in no specific order, like depending on the squad obviously and how you build around it. Secondly, as brunettes or blondes, I usually don't care really. I also love redheads. They can look really hot. The girls I usually have or had in the past were mostly brunettes, but I like blondes too. I don't really think there's that's a point where you have to um, that you have to judge people on how their hair looks. I think other things are more important. But if I had to choose, I'd probably say brunettes, but I don't really care at all. Thirdly, as anal or oral, receiving anal and giving oral, obviously. Nah, just kidding. I never tried anal and I don't really want to. I don't think it's I kind of think it's disgusting. It's not my cup of tea, so I would go with oral there. Who do you think would win a fist fight between Maddie and Gypsy? So this is an interesting question. I know Maddie is what do you say? He's super athletic. He's really muscular and I don't know, ripped. Obviously, he's a real man, you would say. But Gypsy, I know he's athletic too. He played football, I think, early in his days, so definitely has his athletic ability. And I think Gypsy is way taller than Maddie. I think Maddie is kind of short. I'm not sure about that, but this would definitely be a tough one. But because I don't know their athletic background too much. I know that Maddie does work out a lot, obviously, but I don't really know how much Gypsy does and if he's really that muscular. So, but just from my gut, I would probably go with Maddie, but they both would probably be too nice to ever hit somebody hard. So they would probably try to find a solution at Pokemon Battle and go from there. So, but yeah, my gut tells me I would go with Maddie, but I really don't know. And last question, Cobalion or Gogot, the two best farm animal based mons, basically the horse versus the goat. Usually I love Gogot's design. I like what it does. I think it's a really cool mon, but obviously Cobalion is way better. Even this gen just bunched, just get a buff that it really makes it way better with the Z moves. Obviously, it's a very dangerous setup sweeper right now. It's a very good support one, super reliable rocker. Obviously, Gogot is cool though. For competitive, I would choose Cobalion, but for in-game, always Gogot. So let's go on. Megiana Madman. Top 5 best mons in draft format in Sun and Moon, or the top 5 best mons. If allowed, I would say Megiana at number 1, definitely. Naganadel at number 2, if he wants to go for Sun and Moon, but this, I don't know, both of these mons should probably be banned. Then obviously Lele is up there. I think it's tough, top 5 is tough. I still think Mew is one of the top 5 or top 10 mons. Weavile is up there. Mega Zard is up there. Mega Galate is up there. Celesteela is definitely a top 5 mon in the format, I feel like. Especially from the new mons. Tapu Koko is up there. But it's really tough to do a top 5. I don't really think I can answer this. But yeah. Second question, what mon do you think will have the most impact on Draft League in Ultra Sun and Moon? I think he wants to know the new mon that has the most impact. I would say Naganadel, obviously, or Naganadel. I don't know how you pronounce it. But if it's allowed, I think it will be a very, very dangerous sweeper with Nasty Flood and the coverage it gets, where you usually can fit the 3 moves on there that you need. But overall, I think mons like Coco, Celesteela, Lando, the mons that usually put in work dating back to Gen 6 or early Gen 7, they will still put in the same work in Ultra Sun and Moon. Even stuff like Huron Black, Manaphy, they will always be around, they will always be tough to prep for. I don't think Ultra Sun and Moon changed the Draft League format as much as some people think because of the new tutors or shit like that. What are your goals for Ultra Sun and Moon? My goal actually was this year to hit 10 league wins, which I sadly didn't because I got hexed out a little bit of playoffs and lost the finals match here and there. But I definitely want to make it 10 titles within the next year or until the new game comes out. I don't really have goals regarding VGC or shit like that, or growing my channel, but obviously if I get to 150 subscribers or so, that would be cool, but I don't really care about this. But definitely win as many titles as possible and prove all my doubters who still don't think I'm up there in the best form of players. I want to prove them wrong, obviously, so that's the goal. That's a 100, my man. Can't wait to continue seeing you grow and develop as a better Ultra Sun Moon. Thank you, guy. I don't really know if I know you, judging by your pick, but definitely appreciate it. So, Sebi, we got here. Would you rather be sitting on a cake and eating a dick, or sitting on a dick and eating a cake? So, this is a question that I usually like to ask people because it's so fun and so tough to answer. But I still, because I said earlier, anal is disgusting. I would probably take sitting on a cake, but I like never want to have a dick in my mouth, obviously. So I don't really want to do either of that. But if I had to answer, I'd probably like sitting on a cake. Then we go to Illusion, another new member of the NPL, which is cool. Definitely hard to play him too. I heard he's very good, but haven't really seen stuff from him. Yes, most overrated Mon and definitely most underrated. It's tough. Most overrated is like, it really depends. Like, I think Manaphy is kind of overrated by now because Manaphy, like, people have to use it super well and also make it work. So if you're a bad player and use Manaphy, you usually struggle with it. It's not an easy mon, but most overrated is tough. Like, I don't really. I always like, what do I say? Like, I always say some mods are absolute garbage, but they all have some merit. Like, it's really tough. Underrated, obviously, as I said, all the earlier tier 3, 4 mons that I used. Stunfisk is super underrated, for example. I think it should get drafted always in a tier-based draft, like as a solid ground type rocker, electric type, you know it. And yeah, like even shit like Excelgor, Toxapex is underrated. I feel like, even though it gets drafted fairly often, I think it's an underrated mon. Superior is kind of overrated. I felt like, depending on the tier it is in, it can be fun, but I have like kind of struggled to bring it to a lot of games last season in the NPL when I had it, but like it's really tough to decide on what is overrated and what is underrated. If I say this mon is overrated, yeah, give it to me and I will make it great, you know. But a mon is always only as good as the coach who uses it. So yeah, really tough to answer. I think about it while we go on, and maybe I will remember a mon that I think is super underrated. That's with Crash, but don't have anything off the top of my head right now. Zamperia, my boy, skills for Mew or Me First Talonflame. Definitely Me First Talonflame. Skills for Mew is a cool tech, but Me First Talonflame is the GOAT set. It's the set I invented. It's the set that made me a meme. It put me like out there on Twitter. I think I gained like 30 subs by using Me First Talonflame and like 50 followers on Twitter. It was fun because like people seem to enjoy the set a lot and got bamboozled by how I used it to my advantage, obviously. That's a 100, bro. Well deserved for the GOAT. Thank you. He knows that I'm the GOAT, obviously. And yeah, 100 is a cool milestone. My real question is, he says, excluding yourself, what 4 battles would you put on drafted forms of Mount Rushmore? So he basically says that I have ascended to another level than my partners on the Mount Rushmore of Pokemon, which are Gypsy King, Zazo, aka Iron Flash Gaming, and Maddie Brawlick. The 4 of us are building the Mount Rushmore of Pokemon. There's no other question when it comes to drafting form. But Scotty here knows that I'm the GOAT and I've ascended to levels that only a few of us ascend to. So he knows that I'm basically I'm not even human anymore. You can't put me just on Mount Rushmore and call it a day. He says there has to be like a distinction between me and the other guys on Mount Rushmore. So what's the 4th guy? Let me think. Like, it's definitely Maddie up there, Gypsy King and Iron Flash Gaming. I don't really follow too many other battlers. I always liked Joel's build, but he lacks the titles to have it. Guys like Septal MC and Mega Mokwa have the titles, but they have showed to have some flaws in their prep, even though like Septal MC won like GBA twice and shit like that. Guys like Pokemon haven't played that often. I really would have to think about a guy who won as many titles. I don't know, like I don't really follow that many guys. I don't want to don't really watch too many guys playing in the format because um, I'm enough entertainment for myself because I'm so great. Just kidding, but I don't really know. There's like probably a lot of guys that are near my or near Gypsy's or near Maddie's level or close to it or even um, are on our level, and I just don't know about them. So I don't feel like I can answer this question correctly. So next up we got Mr. Mega Beaver. I don't really know if I know him, but he has favorite music artist and genre. Favorite music artist, Bruce Springsteen, 100%. I've been a Bruce Springsteen fan for a while. I always said I'm gonna marry the first girl who knows all the words to Thunder Road, which is my favorite song of all time. And yeah, definitely Bruce Springsteen. But Brian Fallon and the Gaslight Anthem and whatever other bands he plays in is a close second, I would say. I listen to him all the time at the moment for like over a year now. Like I can't go through a day without listening to Brian Fallon at the moment. So he's definitely up there. So genre, as you probably know, rock, alternative rock, some old school rock and roll, obviously. I enjoy some music from the 60s, for example, like Simon & Garfunkel. I love listening to them. But I also can enjoy like singer-songwriter stuff. Guys like Joshua Radin, for example. Jack Johnson is cool. Who else? Like I also like some just like folk rock stuff, like Chuck Reagan, for example. Probably not a lot of guys can know him, but definitely a cool guy. I also like some hip hop every now and then, but I can't listen to it all the time. Really depends on my mood, and usually like the music that fits my mood is alternative rock and roll, whatever. Even some metal. I love Metallica. When I saw them live, it was like super high. It was like 6 years ago. I definitely enjoyed this a lot. So yeah, metal, rock, all this good stuff. But I'm really open to anything. Like if I like the lyrics of a song, I don't really care how it sounds. Like if I like the sound of the song, I don't care about the lyrics. So it really depends. I can enjoy any sort of music. I'm really like very open in that regard. So next up we got Jake M. Most fun league you've been in. It's like probably a tie between my own league, the ITL, and the NPL that I'm in. The NPL is usually super fun because guys are really active in there and give each other shit, and everyone is like really friendly with the next guy, and like it's always been fun playing in there because guys like to bring memes, obviously. But I would probably say the ITL is my most fun league to be in because I've got the chance to play Gypsy in there, and I always also Matty Brolic obviously stepped in once to like play. And then the ITL basically consists of a lot of guys in the NPL and then like Gypsy and like a couple other guys. And like because most fun league, I would say just because I get to play one of the best in the format in Gypsy, and like this is what like keeps me going. Basically, I want the competition. I want to show versus the best that I can beat them, obviously. And Gypsy like offers this, and like it just is a different level of competition than the NPL has, which is great competition itself, but not like on Gypsy's level. So yeah, Mon you haven't tried yet, but really want to. Mega Galate definitely up there. Really want to use it. I heard so many good things about it, and I definitely want to give it a try. Celesteela, number 1 on the list probably. Shoutouts to my boy Eric who sniped it from me in the NPL draft. Spoilers, but yeah, it's definitely up there. I'm trying everything to get it at some point. So we'll see. When did you start draft? I started draft in 2015, I would say. I think so, 15 or 14. I can't really remember. I think it was 15 when like Mega Mogwai won the GBA season 4. I think. I somehow stumbled across the GBA, and I like followed guys like Mega Mogwai and Hank the Pidgey that I found like really informative, really good at what they did at the building styles. And Hank the Pidgey is a super underrated draft player, by the way. He doesn't play anymore, I think, but he was great when he played. So yeah, that's when I started. After I saw the GBA, I was like, I can do some of this stuff too, because like I usually was a fan of Mons, and I played VGC a little and some like Gen 5 OU before that, but not too seriously. But I played VGC kind of seriously, and I was like, yeah, I can counter team stuff. I can can do this as well. So I went to Twitter, just like looked up my like the guys that I watched, hit up some random followers of them and asked them like, yeah, do you want to join a league? Like Trevor, aka Sheer Force, was one of them, I think. He was like, yeah, I'm down, and like this somehow like the ITL started. It was kind of messy in the beginning, but we found our niche, we found our guys, and like, that's really cool. And I'm like, I don't regret a single day that I played the draft format, even though it pisses me off sometimes when I get hacked. But yeah, definitely a good decision to start it. Random question, but thoughts on POKMON2 and draft? I enjoyed watching you see use in PNC Orange League. Yeah, that was definitely a fun mod to use. And I think it's an underrated mod, especially in like a tier-based draft, because in tier 5 like it's super cheap, and it's just like the role of a bulky water and mod gives you initiative is really hype. Obviously, it's kind of can be taken advantage on with like taunt, but it has unaware, so it can't be set up on it, because it can toxic stall you to death if you want, or counter you if you're like a substitute set, and like can get Rocky Helmet damage off, can counter stuff, so it's like not as passive as people think. And I know my boy Sebi used it in NPL Season 4, he won finals with it, so he won the league using POKMON2, and definitely was one of his defensive backbones, and like I think I really enjoyed, but you have to play carefully with it, gotta use it well in order to make it work, which I think I did, but I could see why others would struggle with it. Next up, I got my boy Alpha here, another member of the NPL and ITR. What's the best mod in draft form? Why is it Stunfisk? Like, you know, Stunfisk is like the best one because it, like when you see it in team preview, you basically shook as an opponent. You know that like the wrath of Stunfisk is gonna hit you and is gonna 6-0 you basically. Alpha is basically the guy that had a guard shop last season in the NPL and was in my division, and my Stunfisk managed to kill the guard shop twice and not once, which was very hype. And he was super bamboozled when I did it, and yeah, it's like that was pretty fun. But best one draft form, there's no real answer. Alpha knows that probably, but Stunfisk definitely up there. Definitely a fun one. Definitely like if it puts it to work, you can like you feel great because Stunfisk it looks so stupid. But yeah, for the sake of inspiring the disenfranchised youth that watch your content, recommend 3 great books. I love like the way Alpha can talk. I wish my English was as good as his, but obviously he's an English major in in America, and I'm like just a stupid German who's majoring in English, so I'm not up there with the nice eloquent Alpha here. But 3 great books. Yeah, like my favorite book is called Family and Other Accidents by Shari Goldhagen is her name. Pretty unknown author, I'd say. The book is also like 7-8 years old already, but definitely a book that I can like recommend for everyone. It's like more of a young adult book, story about like 2 brothers who like go through basically their life for 25 years. The book follows them around and their fiancés and wives and kids and shit like that. It's really cool. Really gives you some insight on the struggles that you go through as a family and shit like that, but in the end that you like basically family is everything and shit like that. I wouldn't agree with that basically, but it's a very cool book, very touching too. I really enjoyed it. I like read it at least 15 times. Absolutely great book. Can only like tell everyone to like buy it. Family and Other Accidents. Great book. Second book, a book that I read the other month or so, called Bury Me in My Jersey. It's a story about football, family, and Philadelphia, the city. Obviously, I'm an Eagles fan, so this book was great for me. It's like a story about a guy who like is a hardcore Eagles fan, lost his father. It's basically like more of a memoir than a real than like a novel or anything, but it's really interesting, like another look into family situations, like relationships between the father and the son, which is super hype. So definitely interesting. Obviously, like the insight on into like a true Philadelphian and true Eagles fan is hype for me, because in Germany you can't really grasp what like football is about in Philadelphia, but it's really cool. And like for an Eagles fan, it's definitely a book that you should read. Really good read. And three great books. So last book I have to go with classic, A Farewell to Arms by Hemingway. One of my favorite books of all time, even though it's sad as fuck in the end. But Hemingway is a goat when it comes to writing. I love this book. You could also like go with a more classic, like Great Gatsby, which I really like, but that's like too simple for me. I like really enjoyed A Farewell to Arms from Hemingway. Yeah, besides that, like I could probably go on with like 20 more books. Silver Lining Playbook I enjoyed a lot. A book that is called In Some Other World, maybe. Also super fun read. Book that I read a couple of months ago is called 100 Days of Cake, about like a depressed teenager chick, but a really fun read too. Really enjoyed this one. To like get a it's cool to get like insight on depression and anxiety and how shit like this like kind of affects stuff. I felt it was like kind of cliche at points, but definitely like gave you good insight on how it is to deal with mental illness every day, which I think you should always raise awareness for that. So that was a good read. Next up, if Game Freak came to you and asked you to change one thing about Pokemon, what would it be? I don't know. Like there's so much stuff Game Freak messed up. Like Alpha is the biggest Game Freak hater in the world. He despises everything they do. I would probably give more Mons Rapid Spin because they just spin, or like just give Mons moves that fit to their appearance, like giving Blasters Shell Smash. But I know why they don't do that, because that would be kind of dumb. But like giving Mons that obviously have the physical ability to do stuff, attacks that would fit on there. Like for example, give Kyurem Ice Punch. His right arm or his left arm is basically an icicle. So like, why wouldn't you do that? So, stuff like that is what triggers me. But yeah, like nothing you could do about it, I guess. What's your favorite type combination in Pokemon? Best type combination Game Freak hasn't given us. Favorite type combination in Pokemon is probably Dark Ice or Dark Ice Ground. Like just love Mamo and Weavile too much. And now I'm the Ice type gym leader. I always make Ice types work. Even though my favorite type is actually Poison. I'm the god when it comes to Ice types. I've never used an Ice type that didn't put in work. I could probably use War Rain and it would like get 10 kills if I wanted to. So I really love Ice Dark, Ice Ground, everything Ice related. Ice Psychic is pretty hype, even though Jinx is shit. But if you make good Ice Psychic Mon, definitely can put in lots of work. Best type combination Game Freak hasn't given us yet. As you know, Poison is my favorite type, as I just said, and Ice, I'm the Ice type gym leader, so it would be Poison Ice. Maybe Poison Steel would be pretty hype too, but Poison Ice probably as the 6th special attacker, or maybe even physical with Poison Jab, Ice Crash, Ice Shard, and SD or something. That would be like, whew, that would be hype, like 110 speed, 130 attack or so. Not too frail, maybe high HP step but bad defenses or so. Yeah, that would be my kind of mon. Definitely would draft that. So let's hop into the next one. My boy Gypsy here, hitting the Q&A as well. My man, congrats on 100, bro. You deserve a lot more recognition you'll get, and I'm sure you'll just grow from here. Thank you, my boy. I know you've been there like since I had 30 subscribers. Always had my back when I felt like people didn't realize how great I am. But yeah, my boy Gypsy, really good friend of mine. Thank you guys for that. Before you ascended to the rank of GOAT, who apart from A-Drive did you learn from, look up to in format during your early days? Yeah, A-Drive definitely the best player in the format. Round 1 Victini is basically a staple. Everyone should do this because Victini is the greatest one in format. When you just have to, when the prep basically includes putting a choice band and V-Grade on Victini, you know you're one of the better players. So A-Drive is basically up there. But seriously, guys that I really looked up to early were, as I said, Hank the Pidgey was one of my absolute faves. Mega Mogwai too, because I like the way he built. He loved his balance build, bulky offense, which I really enjoy myself. And also guys like Pokémon were cool, but I even watched really bad YouTubers to see what they do differently and why they do it. So to get insight on worse players, or what I think are worse players in the format, which also gives you a nice change of perspective. Never can go wrong with watching team builders from anyone. Really can it helps you figure out how people think, if you can like clear minds on like if they have certain knowledge, how they think about the game, how they approach the prep. You always learn something, even if it's stuff you know already, but it can give you like some perspective with the side. But guys that I looked up to, probably Mogwai, Hank the Pidgey, and Pokien, I would say, because like just they were more knowledgeable than others. I feel like. Given the changes of Ultra Sun and Moon mechanics, what has been, or do you think will be, your favorite generation to play the draft format? Or Sun Moon, Ultra Sun Moon? That's a tough question. I think I played my best in Auras, but I really like the change that Sun and Moon brought, and I really like using new mons. So the more new mons come, the most fun it is. So I think I should enjoy Ultra Sun and Moon a lot, but for the sake of diversity, I would say Auras is my favorite because and everyone knows Gypsy's the GOAT in fucking Gen 7. He hasn't lost the finals yet. I think he won every league he has been in Gen 7, but I'm the fucking GOAT in Auras. Obviously, I can't lose, or I couldn't lose in Auras. Like, I'm the best in Auras League form that ever existed. Don't let anyone tell you anything else. So I would probably say Auras because, I was the greatest. Do you see yourself playing the format for a long time to come? I definitely do, because like it's just a cool what's it called, like just helps me to like get rid of stupid thoughts that I have, or from annoying stuff that I don't really want to think about, like university or stuff. Mods has always been like a hobby that's helped me staying like in a good mood, especially if I win. But like just building, for example, and prepping, drafting, the thought process that goes into that really helps me to chill out. So definitely enjoyed it. And I could see myself playing this game for like 10 more years, but you never know what the future holds. So maybe I like just get burned out or get hexed so bad that I don't want to play anymore. But definitely see myself playing for at least 2 or 3 more years, maybe even 5 years, maybe 10 years. You never know. Maybe even 50 years. Like getting my 100th championship at age like 65. That'd be interesting to say the least. But yeah. Next up, Tafari, my boy, aka Nova, another guy in the NPL. How would you break Mudsdale, Rotom, and or Stakataka? I don't know if he means the core, which would be really weird, but I reckon it does. Don't know, like, usually like the water type would already be enough, like Specscaldio destroys all of them. But like you could also go with like Mamoswine, for example, work, because can switch into Rotom most of the time. Can also Stakataka, guarantee the Earthquake, can 2KO Mudsdale. But yeah, with one mon it probably would be tough, because Mudsdale is so bulky, same with Rotom, that they can take one hit usually most of the time. So it would have to be something that can outspeed Rotom, Oko Stakataka, because Gyro Ball fucks you up otherwise with the speed you have. Oko Mudsdale and Oko Rotom. So like I probably would say Specscaldio. I think Specs Hydro would break or would kill all 3 of them, and I think Calio can invest it to live with the Thunderbolt from Specs, or not from Specs Rotom, but from Scarf Rotom, for example. So yeah, I think that would work. That's what I would say, but hard to do with one mon, obviously, because you can run stress like Focus Dash on Stakataka, you can run AV on Mudsdale or Berry, but yeah, Specs Calio is a solid answer, I would say. Perhaps the most important question in history to actually end this video. We're already 40 minutes in. Hell yeah, that's like a long video. But perhaps the most important question in history: Bulbasaur, Squirtle, or Charmander? Not Squirtle, 100%. Bulbasaur is easiest to play through the game, but Charmander obviously was the GOAT in Gen 1. Like everyone picked it. I think if you like ask around all those 7 years old back in the day in 1998. I think everyone chose Charmander. I probably would say Charmander had like a higher usage rate than Lando does in Gen 6 OU. So, but if I go from the evolutions, I love Mega Venusaur more than I love Zardex, so I would probably go with Bulbasaur. So yeah, that's the video, guys. Thank you guys for asking the questions, and thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I had fun doing this. Like really cool that like to see the support. A lot of guys congratulating me on the 100 and shit like that. So definitely means a lot, and I hope I can like grow the channel a little bit more. If not, no problem. But definitely thank you guys for the questions and for the support for 100 subscribers. And I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.